Sometimes it's that mental mindset that I can do better, I can do better, I can do better.
So I don't really think there's one perfect dancer. I don't think there's a perfect body. I think you dance and you have your attributes and you just find out where your niche is and you go for it.
Perfection is unattainable. You don't get up in the morning to be mediocre at anything. Math, English, ice skating, I don't care. You get up in the morning to be the best that you can be.
I always joke that I was like Barbie that got me into ballet because I would always watch Barbie Nutcracker, and my mom said I would always just like walk like on my toes around the house. I always wanted to be a ballet dancer. Like, I don't know, that was just always my dream. I started ballet in a little studio, if you could call it that. It was this lady's basement. It had tile floor. It was cold. It was so small, and I don't really know what her ballet experience was, but whatever. It was pretty awful. I left there because they had forced us all to go on point and wear the same point shoes, and if you saw those, they're very small. They don't fit my feet, and I started having a lot of foot problems because I should not have been in those shoes. So we kind of started realizing that maybe this little place doesn't know what they're doing at all, so we left. The director of this studio close to home, she recommended this place called Fallbrook School of Ballet, which is it's in Hanover Park. It was really known for like producing really amazing ballet dancers. We went and checked it out. It was kind of like this little hole-in-the-wall studio. And at first my mom was kind of like, this is it? This is where we're supposed to go. So we waited a few weeks, and I finally was able to go try a class out, and we loved it from the second we started.
I don't train ballet dancers. I train dancers. Ballet is the tool to train the instrument. The instrument happens to be the body. And there are some bodies that come perfectly fit for this art form. And there's some bodies that can grow into that art form.
When you start off are like robots almost. Like, you're learning the basic techniques of ballet, and it's really hard to move your body in ways that are really unnatural, like getting your leg to your ear and like having your legs rotated 180 degrees. I was like a fish out of water trying to do ballet. I had these really awkward long limbs. I had no idea how to control my limbs. You know, ballet is all about control and precision and just making everything look effortless. I made everything look out of control. Like, it took a ton of effort. I looked just horrible, and so yeah, I started there, and it was a shock because coming from that studio that didn't focus on ballet, where I was really good because I loved ballet, going to a studio that actually trained for ballet was a rude awakening because I realized I suck.
You don't get up in the morning to be mediocre at anything. Math, English, ice skating, I don't care. You get up in the morning to be the best that you can be, all the time. And so the competition is necessary for everyone.
Yeah, I went home and cried the first few days I started there just because it was really intimidating. I've never had a teacher be very detail-oriented. I've never had, just so much criticism in one day because I sucked. So, they're like, well, you should fix this and this and this, and the list just seemed so long.
There was so much competition there. It wasn't a social ballet place. It was, people were there for a reason, and so I feel like that's where it probably got serious for her.
I pretty much drove myself insane trying to be so perfect. That perfectionistic thing that I have is what led me to my eating disorder. I was weighing my food, I was counting calories, trying to literally no fat in my diet, all while trying to also be active for almost the entire day, 7 days a week. When I first met with a dietitian that I saw my freshman year of high school, and I started losing some weight, she was like, the amount of dancing you're doing, minimum 2,200 calories, minimum, like bare minimum. And that was the first time I had really even thought about, like, I wonder how many calories I am consuming. So that's when the food walk started. And I made it my goal basically to know that I bare minimum is 2,200 calories. So I know if I go over that, I have a potential to gain weight, and I know if I go under that, I'm guaranteed to lose. So I would just start dwindling down, and I think at one point I got to like 15 or 1,400 a day for the entire day.
The first time I realized that she was in serious trouble is while practicing for the America Grand Prix. And they were taking turns at the stage, and they turned the lights up, they turned the lights on, and when she came out on stage, she looked like a skeleton. And I thought, if I don't get to the stage, she's gonna die, because she was that skinny. She was like 96 pounds and 5'10" at the time.
One day I was practicing my variation, and they just kind of picked me up early, and we ended up at my dietitian's office. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm so confused. And my dietitian just and she's like, you're gonna die. And my heart sank. I didn't even know what to think at that point. So my dietitian made me sign this little contract saying that I would eat what I'm supposed to, do the competition, and then take a month off of ballet completely to restore some weight, and she wouldn't hospitalize me. So I went back to ballet, my first class back, and the director of the studio comes up to me and he's like, I'm glad you're back, and he puts his hand on my stomach and he's just like, make sure they don't make you too fat, and walks away.
Some of the people at the ballet studio were telling her, I know your parents want you to gain weight, but don't get fat, don't put too much weight on.
You want to eat, that'll be up to you. But I would never advertise, or we talk about, Mario would know. I mean, she came here to the studio and Mr. Casey said, well, I'm too fat. I don't think she would ever say something like that. Because food have never been a problem for me as a teacher in this art form.
Sometimes inadvertently people will make comments that lead into that, and they don't even realize that the comment they made was detrimental.
I had so many mixed messages. Like, here in one hand is like my dietitian, my doctor, my parents are happy that I'm finally getting better. And I go to ballet and the director tells me that they're gonna make me fat, basically, that I have to be careful. After that was when the eating disorder just took over, and I pretty much gave up on dancing for ballet, and I turned out to be dancing just to lose weight. My junior year of high school is when my body started falling apart from ballet and the lack of nutrition. I was so fed up because my body was bad, my hips were bad, everything was bad, my life was falling apart. I'm good, like, I'm just done, I wanted to stop.
For me, that was probably the point that I realized that maybe she really was going to try to move forward, and unfortunately, I think that was just the beginning of the letting go of the ballet, or the end of the ballet and the beginning of the bulimia.
What it is, it's the underlying coping mechanism. So they get control of one area, but they haven't dealt with the underlying stressors or whatever it is that they need to deal with, that they're trying to cope with this unhealthy behavior. And so they can get that behavior under control, but then because the underlying stressors are still there, they still need some coping mechanism, and then that's when it morphs into just a different behavior.
The battle with bulimia for me with her was, I had to just let go that she was probably going to hate me. But I had to not care, because I had to pound on the bathroom and walk in on her and sneak and look in her bedroom, because I wouldn't make her go to the bathroom with the door open. And I would find buckets under the sink, and I would find hidden buckets around the house. That's how strong the will to do that is. So I think that was even a tougher battle than the anorexia.
One day my brother's like, I figured out what the bins are for. And I was like, what? Like, what are they for? Like, you're so smart. And I couldn't avoid that. I couldn't be like, those bins are what I throw up in, like in the shower. He just started, like, a tear just like rolled down his face, and he's like, you're so sick and you don't see it. And he's like, I think you're really gonna kill yourself if you don't go to this program. The next day I just called my therapist. I was like, all right, I'll start the program.
You don't always have to be perfect. Part of the road to recovery is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I tell them, none of us are perfect. We all have days in our lives that things don't go quite the way we want them to. But then we get back up. That's how we learn.
It was like messy. It wasn't like this like beautiful recovery that I had. There were a lot of slip ups. There were a lot of like panic attacks and hard nights and nights where I thought I would never recover. But then in March, I finally like completely recovered. And like I've been recovered ever since.
I'm proud of her. I hope that she finds what she wants to do and goes and does it. She's always been a smart kid, so we'll see how that turns out. I think we're on the right path.
Finally.
Do you have any last comments, especially for anybody who would be watching this documentary?
I just wish that people would not judge mental illness and that people could feel comfortable to say something. There's nothing to be ashamed about, and that it's so freeing to just let it go, make it known, get help, and let it go, and it only makes you stronger in the end.